pity's sake, it's B flat, not C. Must you get that wrong every bloody time?
Sorry?
Amazing anyone could tell.
Oh, marvellous. Another of Roland's musical critiques.
Hugo.
Shove it, Hugo.
No, I'm fascinated. I hope it's appreciated at your next place of employ, because frankly, I don't give a rat's bum for it. Or you're playing from bar 29. And see if we can play the right notes this time, Celia, Celia?
Go ahead, Central 10. We have a deceased at this location. It appears suspicious. Could we have several detectives from the scene of 10? Central 10, copy that.
A brooch. Yellow metal with a black enamel of some description.
What's that symbol called again? Clef.
Treble clef.
Treble clef.
You got it? Malcolm, what's the story on Imogen?
She's on her way. Something strangely old-fashioned about a garroting, isn't there?
Spanish.
Huh?
Oh, it originated in Spain, sir. Garrot's Spanish for stick because they used a stick to twist the cord.
You've been spending too much time with Fist Constable. You're beginning to sound like it. Meet Hugo Klein, first violinist and leader of the Klein Quartet. The quartet was rehearsing here last night, and the body found this morning.
This was fast. Must have been taken by surprise.
Why didn't the violin fall on the floor?
Well, it looks like it's been carefully placed there.
Fist, can we come up?
No.
Who found the body?
Another musician, Jasper Jenkins. He's outside, waiting.
Horrible way to go. I mean, going is horrible anyway, but... Well.
You said you'd arranged a business meeting with the deceased, please.
Yeah. I got here about 10:15 this morning. I was a bit late. In more ways than one, it seems.
Tell me, did the quartet rehearse here regularly?
Yeah, every Monday night.
Do you know what time? Please.
No, I'm not sure what time they started, but, well, they were usually finished by, I don't know, 9-ish. I'd see some of them at the pub across the road.
Tell me, do you know who the deceased was playing with?
Yeah. Musically or otherwise.
Why put the bow through the wound?
It's what's underneath the bow that's interesting.
So, Imogen, can we remove it? Yep. Dee, you ready?
Always ready.
All right, Imogen.
What? Is that an instrument string?
Yes, it is.
What's it from? Is it a violin or a viola?
Well, it's something like that. Won't commit quite yet, but now, those tuning pegs, they look like they're from the cello.
See this? See, the string severed the jugular vein. Trachea's broken. Death would have been by strangulation.
Toots?
No?
You got a time of death?
Well, rigger's well fixed. I think you're looking at 10 to 14 hours ago.
Right. Well, rehearsals usually finished about 9ish.
Yeah, what about last night?
Well, we'll have to talk to the other band members, won't we?
Band.
Whatever.
Look, these scratches here, Dee. Can you get this? Look like defense wounds. Probably trying to claw the string. Let's bag his hands.
Indeed.
You know, the garroting is one thing, but putting the bow through the wound, that's saying something else.
Like what?
Contempt? I don't know, it's very cold, chemical. Nice plant.
That's an oxalis, that's a weed.
It's a nice weed.
Selling insurance, right? Or God?
Detective Vance, this is Detective Hayden.
Oh, sorry. What can I do for you?
Celia Stemmett.
No, we share the house.
May we come in?
Yes. Fratelli, Harriet Fratelli.
Right, we'll need
Miss.
to speak to both of you, actually.
Right. Well, what's wrong?
What is it?
Well, it's the police, Celia.
The police?
We understand you're both members of the Klein Quartet.
Yes. Celia's cello, I'm viola. Why?
I'm afraid we have some bad news about Hugo Klein. He's dead.
Oh, Celia, don't be ridiculous. She always assumes the worst. It saves time.
I'm afraid he is dead.
That damn bike. I always warned him.
Mr. Klein was murdered.
Murdered? What? What happened? Celia! Look, I better go and see to her.
It's sticky.
That's not a toy, Detective.
No. Miss Fratelli, do you own a brooch in the shape of a treble clef?
Yes, Celia has a matching one, a bass clef. She gave it to me and I gave her hers, sort of a celebration of joining the quartet. Here's mine.
Oh. We found it at the theatre.
What, at the conservatorium?
Yeah.
Well, it must have fallen off during the rehearsal.
What time did your rehearsal finish last night?
About 9, as usual. And then we went for a drink.
Who's we?
Me, Celia. Roland usually comes to the pub after rehearsal, but last night he didn't join us.
And Roland is?
Roland Lacey. He's the second violin.
Did Roland leave the theatre at the same time as you and Celia last night?
No, just before us, I think.
Did the deceased go to the pub?
No, he never did. Hugo stayed back to listen to the tape of the rehearsal. Give us notes for next time.
And what time did you leave the pub?
About 9. No, about 10.
Was Celia good friends with the deceased?
Well, I suppose you'll hear about this anyway. Celia and Hugo were lovers. It only ended a week ago.
What is that racket?
Heidelberg, Hayden. You can't boot scoot to it, but it is music nonetheless.
Don't suppose the killer autographed the violin, Fisk?
No, however, there are 2 sets of prints as yet unidentified on the violin case. There's no match on file.
Well, any of the quartet could have touched the violin case.
Well, that's right. Now, the murder weapon, that is, the string, did not come from the victim's violin. Right. However, the rehearsal tape has proven a little more fruitful. May just be interested in this.
It's not another music lesson, is it, Fisk?
Oh, a little bit of patience, thank you, Hayden. Now, Heidelberg was not the only note of discord. Have a listen.
Oh, marvellous. Another of Roland's musical critiques.
Hugo. Shove it, Hugo.
No, I'm fascinated. I hope it's appreciated at your next place of employ, because frankly, I don't give a...
Your next place of employ.
Yeah, okay. I was leaving. I'd quit.
You quit. Why was that?
Because it wasn't the quartet I joined. I mean, the Klein Quartet used to be a tight little outfit doing great Brahms, Haydn, Mozart. We were getting concerts, nothing huge, but good reviews. But that wasn't the way Hugo wanted to go.
Which was what?
Hugo wanted to grease up to the funding bodies by getting away from the classical stuff. It was garbage. I mean, he even wanted us fitted out in leather. Would you believe that?
And you didn't agree?
You know, style over substance. That was Hugo.
And that upset you?
I was upset, but I wasn't that upset.
What did you do after the rehearsal?
I just walked around for a bit. You know, I walked off some steam.
Can anyone verify that?
Psittacosis and cryptotosis.
Cryptococcus, Malcolm.
Look, as you keep telling me, pigeons are disease-carrying vermin.
Yeah, but Malcolm, the point is...
Hey, I just feed them. I don't dance with them.
Are you picking on Malcolm's feathered friends again, Fisk? No, your name didn't come up at all, Hayden. Tessa, I found an expert on stringed instruments, a bloke by the name of...
Stern.
Heinrich Stern, that's
Yeah,
right.
we were pointed in his direction too. He maintains the stringed instruments at the conservatorium.
Look, I've got an appointment with him this afternoon. If you want to tag along, if you can drag yourself away.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, terrific. See you then.
Can I have a word, Jasper?
Another Roland? Don't worry about them. They can have my left ear and you can have my right.
Or the other way round?
It's about what I said last Friday.
They really are quite dreadful, aren't they?
Jasper, please.
Keep going. Keep going. You're doing marvelously.
Now, last Friday, you were talking about wanting Hugo 6 feet under.
Look, I just want you to forget the entire conversation.
Depends. What's it worth? Relax, it's already forgotten.
Thanks.
You know, Roland, murder plays hell with your sense of humor.
It's another century.
Didn't have CD players then. Of course, could be a string quintet out the back.
We were enjoying that.
You are here to talk, correct? Music isn't wallpaper, it's for listening to. Not to have burbling in the background during chatter.
Yes, especially when it's Schubert. It's a sublime piece of music.
Yes, it is. So, how can I help you?
We rang earlier. I'm Senior Sergeant Fisk.
Oh, yes.
And this
terrible news about Hugo Klein. I knew his father, a fine man and a dear friend.
Not Fritz Klein?
Yes. The violinist.
What? Fritz Klein was Hugo's father?
Yes. He and I fled East Germany in 1969 together with his violin, of course.
Now, was that the violin that Hugo played?
Yes, yes.
So it's valuable?
Oh, the violin is a Guadagnini. I wouldn't like to put a price on it. A work of art.
So it's invaluable?
Yes.
Look, this is the string that we wanted identified.
A D string from violin Pierastro Olive, gold-plated. Brilliant sound, rich complex overtones, good string. It's filthy.
Is this the kind of string that Hugo would have used?
Yes, yes, always. And Roland Lacey, who plays second violin with the quartet, I assume you've met him. You know, this might just interest you. Fritz Klein playing Mozart's Third Violin Concerto, conducted by Klemperer.
Otto Klemperer?
Yes.
But I can't. What will I say to them?
You will say exactly as we discussed. Celia, they know that you and Hugo were close. It's only natural that there are things that they're going to want to ask you.
Will you come with me?
Yes. Yes, of course I will, of course. Oh, Celia.
Can you tell me what your meeting with the deceased was about, sir?
Well, he'd offered me the position of second violin with the Klein Quartet.
That's Roland Lacey's job, isn't it?
Yep.
Did you accept?
Tell you the truth, I hadn't made up my mind. Playing second fiddle to dear old Hugo wasn't exactly my idea of a career boost, but there are only so many gigs around. Anyway, yesterday I was going to tell him that I needed more time to decide.
Right. Would I be right in thinking that you didn't like Hugo Klein, sir?
Show me anyone in the music world who did, and I'll show you a flying pig.
And why is that, do you think?
Because he was an arrogant prat who screwed people over.
Does Roland Lacey share your opinion of the deceased?
Yes, but in the scheme of things, the fact that Roland hated Hugo doesn't really mean a thing, does it? Mind you, being given the sack can get right up one's nose.
Roland was fired.
Sorry, I thought you knew.
Stop. What's that? That's diminuendo, not fortissimo. Why are you playing it? Okay, he sacked me. You happy?
You obviously weren't.
Well, I wasn't, but that doesn't mean I killed him.
Why'd he sack you?
I told you, we disagreed about the repertoire.
Is that all you disagreed about?
Look, I mean, professionally, he was good. I mean, not as good as his father, of course, though he tried to be, but talents like that are pretty damn rare.
And personally, how did you feel about him?
Hugo. Hugo only cared about Hugo. And a lot of people suffered because of that.
Including you?
Obviously.
Because of the quartet?
Yeah. What else?
Okay, now, about your violin.
Well, yeah, what about it? Why'd you ask me to bring it?
Well, we'd like our forensic expert to examine it, sir.
Well, what's he going to do to it?
Don't worry, he won't do anything to
No,
harm.
wait a second. I'm not so sure about that. Oh, okay, but could you make sure he holds it very carefully? He should keep his hands off the strings, especially near the bridge, and no jarring movements.
I will tell him.
And make sure he's very careful with the finish, the varnish. And I'll be waiting right here. I'm not going anywhere without it. And tell him to ask me first if he wants to do anything to it.
What is it with musicians? He loves that violin more than some people love their mothers.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
What are you looking at?
Well, I'm comparing rosins.
Yeah? What are you finding?
Well, as you may or may not know, rosin comes from resin, the sap of pine trees. Now, it's rubbed along the bow of stringed instruments to create traction.
Yeah? A bit like chalk on a pool cue.
That's right, creates traction so the string vibrates properly.
Right, so what are you comparing?
Well, different instruments use different rosins, and then again, different musicians use different rosins.
Do you want to have a look?
I don't know what I'm looking at.
You're looking at the string used to kill the victim. You'll notice blood. You will also notice rosin residue.
Uh-huh.
Does it match the rosin on Roland's violin?
Well, we're about to find that out. Hey?
Good.
We're about to find that out. No, it looks like Hugo and Roland used different rosins again to murder weapon. Let me see. Hugo used Pinus panasta, and Roland is obviously using a Pinus palustris.
So it's unlikely the murderer got the string from either Roland Lacey or Hugo.
Yeah, that'd be right.
Well, it doesn't get us very far, does it?
Celia, I'll be waiting right here for you.
So I understand you and Hugo were lovers?
Yes. Well, we're in love. We broke up a week ago, but it was only going to be temporary.
Right, and you'd both agreed to that?
Well, not in so many words, but I knew. I knew he'd come back to me.
How did you know?
Well, he loved me. He was mean to me sometimes, but I knew that he loved me. I was jealous, he said. And I was. But when you really love someone that much...
Do you know if Hugo was seeing anyone else?
I don't know who she was. Harriet kept telling me to give up on him. She reckoned he just hurt me and my career.
How could he hurt your career?
I won a scholarship to study in Prague. I turned it down. Harriet thought I was mad.
Why did you turn it down?
Well, that would have meant leaving Hugo.
Can you tell me, did you touch Hugo's violin case recently?
No. Oh. Yes. I had to get my rosin back at the end of the rehearsal last night. He'd borrowed it and forgotten it wasn't his.
Thank you.
She's a bit of a case, isn't she?
Well, love is blind.
Ah, so that's why it's never found me.
Okay, now, Harriet has an alibi, Celia has an alibi, Roland does not.
Yeah, but Celia and Harriet are each other's alibi.
It's true. Roland and Celia both have motive, Harriet doesn't. However, there's no physical evidence to tie any of them to the murder.
Apart from Harriet's brooch.
Well, she could have just left that at the theatre after the rehearsal.
Yeah, which leaves Roland. But it's not enough, is it? Killing someone just because you were sacked.
Yeah, but musos aren't like other people. They're, you know, artistic.
Artistic doesn't automatically mean homicidal, Constable.
No, it's not true.
I thought you knew.
You're making it up. I knew Hugo better than anyone. He wouldn't have. This is no way. You're lying.
Listen, calm down. Why would I lie? Why would I want to hurt you?
You hated him.
Celia, I would never have said anything, but I thought you knew.
You hated me loving him, and now he's dead.
Darling, I thought... Oh.
Just leave him alone. Leave me alone.
Celia? Hello. Yes, emergency. Ambulance. Police are here to see you. I've told them that the doctor said to keep it brief, so there's no need for you to worry. I found the note that you left, Celia, and I hid it. No one else has seen it, so you're quite safe.
Why?
Well, darling, it makes things look a lot worse for you. Detectives. Now, I'll be back shortly to check on you. How are you feeling?
Okay. Like an idiot.
Celia, why did you do this?
Couldn't think of a reason not to.
Did something happen?
He's dead. Hugo's dead.
Yesterday you seemed to be coping.
Celia?
I found out
What?
who it was.
Who he was seeing?
Yeah. The other woman. God, I'm such a bloody fool. I had no idea.
Who is the other woman?
I didn't want to believe Harriet when she told me, then I knew she was right.
About what?
It wasn't another woman. It was Roland.
Now, if I have my chronology right...
Hugo fired Roland from the quartet after they were lovers.
Yeah, giving him the sack in the sack, so to speak.
You want the usual strings?
Yeah, one of each, please, Heinrich.
Terrible news.
Hugo, yeah, awful.
Yeah, and now Celia. People are saying there is a jinx on the Klein Quartet. I tell them not to be so foolish. I hate gossips and superstition.
Celia, what about her?
You haven't heard? Poor girl has tried to kill herself. Terrible. Terrible.
Excuse me, Mr. Lacey.
Oh, now what?
Just a couple of things.
No, I've had enough of your couple of things. If you're not going to arrest me, then just leave me alone.
We know you're having a relationship with Hugo Klein. Why didn't you tell us before, Mr. Lacey?
Just forget it. Leave me alone.
You'll keep.
Now, what can I get you? Tea? Coffee? Sandwich? It's no trouble. Really. Oh, what a couple of days. Oh, it's over now. And really, with Hugo being gone, I mean, it's like a fresh start for you.
Fresh start.
Yeah, well, I know you don't see it like that now, but you will. In time, the pain will heal. And you'll realize that you're young and you're talented and, well, the world is still your oyster.
How does Hugo being dead give me that?
Darling, he was holding you back. What you thought was love was bitterness. I mean, he couldn't bear your ability. You do know that, don't you? I know it seems callous, but really, with him gone, you're much better off.
Yes, it's clever, really, using the tuning pegs. Of course, they're designed to hold the strings, but they would give quite a good grip, I would imagine.
And what about the owner? Where would they have come from?
Oh, it was a cello in a state of some disrepair. It was left backstage at the conservatorium. Been there for some time.
Right, so anyone could have had access to it?
Oh, absolutely anyone. Don't touch it.
No, not touch you.
Should hope not. You don't fiddle with a 200-year-old violin.
If this... How much do you think this is worth?
Well, it's quite a noonie. I wouldn't hazard a guess.
How do you check the authenticity of a priceless violin?
What are you thinking that we might have overlooked the obvious?
Maybe. I'm willing to try anything at this stage.
Well, I'll ask Herr Stern.
Yeah, you ask him. Hello, Tessa Vance.
Hello? Detective, it's Celia Stemmett here. I need to talk to you. I know who killed Hugo Klein. I hope I'm doing the right thing.
Telling the truth is always the right thing. You're telling the truth?
To us, now?
I am.
One last thing. Harriet's brooch.
The treble clef?
Yeah. Was she wearing that in the pub after rehearsal?
I'm sorry, I can't remember. Yes. Yes, I think she was.
Just this way.
Well, why won't you tell me what's going on? Oh, Celia, but...
Why is Celia here? I mean, you must understand that she's still in shock. Have you arrested her?
Miss Fratelli, we'd like to go over your movements on the night of the murder again.
Celia's told us she couldn't sleep and went out walking for 2 hours.
So you no longer have an alibi?
Well, in that case, neither does Celia, does she?
Miss Fratelli, how did you feel about Celia's relationship with the deceased?
He was holding her back and he didn't care.
And that worried you?
Well, I mean, I didn't like it and I made no secret of the fact. Same thing happened to me at her age. Different instrument, same tune.
And, Celia wouldn't listen?
Oh, no, of course not. She was lost in a hormonal fog.
Did that annoy you?
Oh, I see. This is supposed to be my motive. I'm so embittered by my tragic past that I'm living my revenge through Celia. By killing Hugo. How ridiculous.
We've been told you were wearing your brooch at the pub after rehearsal.
Did Celia tell you that?
If you were wearing that brooch, you must have gone back to the conservatorium that night. Did you?
So much for loyalty.
Did you go back?
No. The night of the murder, I knew that Celia had gone out. I heard the front door.
And why didn't you tell us that before?
Well, I mean, I couldn't. I mean, it was destroying me. I mean, I lied because I was trying to protect her. She wrote this before she tried to kill herself.
I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I had to do it.
You see, Celia killed Hugo.
Now look through the hole into the violin. What do you see?
Nothing. Don't see anything. Well, darkness.
Exactly. As with ages, it becomes less permeable. If you could see through it, it would mean that the violin was made less than 150 years ago.
Oh, exactly. How old is that violin?
Guadagnini crafted it in 1730s.
Oh, made to last, huh? It's beautiful. It's truly beautiful.
It's a magnificent instrument, isn't it?
It certainly is. You know, Lance, you and I have similar jobs. We are both craftsmen. Only I construct and you deconstruct.
Yes, well, I'm a bit of a jack of all trades, really. I mean, your knowledge is very specific, very in-depth. By the way, thank you for the loan of the book.
Oh, please keep it. A present. And indulge an old man's ego.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
What'll happen to the Guadagnini now?
Hopefully, it will go to a museum where it belongs.
No, what am I supposed to think? What am I...
Slow down. They haven't arrested you yet.
Doesn't mean they're not going to.
Here. Have a slurp. Celia's as much a suspect as you. Now, the suspect tries to top herself the day after the murder. What does that say to you?
Grief? Despair?
Guilt.
Oh, you think?
Police will think it.
Oh, cheers.
Suppose you'll be looking for a new first violin for the quartet.
I honestly hadn't given it any thought.
I had. And, I'm available.
Well, see, Harriet, who's a little bit past it, falls madly in
Is
love.
that past it?
Well, she's no chicken. Anyway, she fell madly in love with the dead guy, but he was more interested in Celia, who...
Is a chicken.
Yeah, exactly. So, Harriet's jealous. She kills Hugo, then writes a suicide note to make Celia look guilty.
Well, hang on. Celia hasn't denied writing the note yet.
What?
Yeah, and don't forget, Hugo was also sleeping with Roland.
Oh, so he could have written the letter? Let's face it, this suicide note could mean anything.
Does that round out your theory, Constable? Now, is there something else you could be doing? On another floor? You know, Dee's right about one thing.
What's that?
This note could mean anything.
Depending on which of the two women you believe.
Every time I look at this board, you two have come up with another suspect.
The victim had a habit of making enemies.
Hugo expected everyone to play second fiddle.
Style over substance. That was Hugo.
Music isn't for the baby. It's for listening to.
What is it with musicians? You loves that violin more than some people love their mothers.
It's sticky.
You can't deny the evidence. You're going to have to get Celia in again. Hello?
Tess?
Maybe we've been asking Fisk the wrong questions. Did you check Hugo's violin bow?
No.
On the night Hugo was murdered, he borrowed Celia's cello rosin.
Right. We should start with the Hartelberg. I did play it, of course, on tour a couple of years back, but might be a touch rusty.
Do we have to play the Heidelberg?
Well, Roland, the program has been confirmed, remember?
From the top, then?
I don't know what we're doing here. Look, I might as well say it. I don't know why you're here, Jasper.
String quartets traditionally have 4 members, sweetheart. Not even the late unlamented Hugo could play 2 violins at once.
He isn't even buried, and you're...
And you are here to watch. Poor little wounded thing. Now, if we're ready... Jasper Jenkins. It's for you.
Just this way, sir?
I don't see how I can help you.
This won't take long. It's all right.
Inspector Thorne, Mr. Lacey, thanks very much for coming in.
We were wondering if you'd play Hugo Klein's violin for us.
Why?
Just indulge us.
No, look, I've never played Hugo's violin. I swear, I've never even touched it.
Mr. Lacey, would you, please?
This isn't the Guadagnini. This isn't Hugo's violin.
That's it.
You studied my book well.
You did a brilliant job, Mr. Stern. No one knew you'd forged Hugo's violin until Roland Lacey played it.
I know this violin better than I know myself.
And that's why you killed him, just for a violin.
Just for a violin? Lance, tell him. This isn't just a violin. Guadagnini was a student of Stradivari. It's a work of genius. That idiot Hugo wasn't worth of it.
But he'd had it for years since his father died. Why now, Mr. Stern?
His father would thank me. Hugo came to see me and he wanted me to put a pickup onto the violin. A pickup.
This is for an amplifier?
Yes, to run through some computer or synthesizer, something. It's sacrilege. Unthinkable. A violin of this caliber has a soul. The music it plays will stay with it as the hands of each maestro caress it. Lance, you understand me? Don't you?
Yes, I understand the passion. But not the killing. Never have understood killing.
Stern never thought to swap the bow as well as the violin. He didn't know that Hugo had used Celia's cello rosin, and that the rosin on the strings didn't match the rosin on the bow.
But he must have realised that someone was going to pick up the violin forgery sooner rather than later.
Well, I don't think that mattered to him. He was going to hide the violin. Better not played at all than played by someone like Hugo Klein.
Well, the replacement was a brilliant copy, apparently. Which is why you didn't pick up, Sergeant.
Oh, no. No, it wasn't the violin that deceived me. It was the man. Anyway, I am off.
See you.
Good night.
You know, I used to dream of being present when the sergeant made a mistake. Now it's happened.
Well, we all make mistakes, Dee. Though it was smart of Dessa to pick it up.
She's a smart lady.